It's time for a death battle!
Rewritten.
Reverse Flash, DC's psychopathic speedster fanboy, Popeye, the Sailor Man.
Before the video begins, according to YouTube statistic, only a small percentage of you guys that are watching this are actual subscriber. If you like this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button. It's free and you can change your mind. Enjoy the video.
Thawne draws his powers from the negative Speed Force, which he generates with every step he takes, just like Barry does with the regular Speed Force. The negative Speed Force gives Thawne access to many of the Flash's powers, including his mind-bending super speed, enough to travel all across time and space in days. He can keep up with and surpass other speedsters like Barry and Wally,
who once ran fast enough to cross the universe faster than two gods who could teleport. Wally even beat himself in a race, and Barry admitted Thawne was still faster than that.
But unlike Barry and Wally, Thawne applies his powers more catastrophically, using them to their full potential without any care for collateral. Take, for instance, his ability to vibrate himself through solid objects.
Objects like, say, vital organs. And if he did, he'd scramble their molecules, causing instant death. Thawne did just that to Barry's wife, Iris.
Thawne's vibrations are so powerful, he can even produce a counterforce that can reverse the destruction of the entire universe.
Pretty crazy sounding, but even B-tier speedsters like Jenny Ognats can do the same kind of thing. And when Barry and Wally raced each other, they were tearing up the entire multiverse.
Thawne can create shockwaves with a snap, phase into your body and possess you, and even speak at such high speeds that you'll hear his words as though they were your own thoughts. And instead of stealing your speed like other Flashes, he can steal your time.
Yeah, Thawne can yoink decades from your life and age you 80 years in just a few seconds.
But Thawne's greatest ability is his unmatched skill at time travel, and he uses this expertise to be as petty and cruel as humanly possible.
Thawne wasn't a dummy. He knew that if he went back in time to kill Barry before he got his powers, he'd erase himself from the time stream too. So instead, he'd just make Barry's life suck as hard as he could.
Actually, Thawne was just inside the time stream when Barry initiated Flashpoint, which rewrote the universe while Thawne was technically disconnected from it. So Thawne essentially broke. Literally, figuratively, mentally, physically, temporally. More specifically, he became a living paradox, a being without a past or future, literally without continuity. Not only did this mean he'd be unaffected by changes to his past, it made him effectively immortal.
Stabbed in the chest by evil Batman, vaporized by Iris in some sweet, sweet payback, or getting Dr. Manhattaned by the big blue god dong himself, Thawne was always reborn, unable to stay dead.
But more than anything, it made him immune from consequences.
Unlike Barry, whose changes to time could destroy all of reality, Thawne could do whatever he wanted. He was impossible to stop, with no reason to hold back.
He's survived a hit from Barry while he had the entire Speed Force absorbed into him, and even Wally's infinite mass punch, which has the mass of a white dwarf star. A white dwarf is essentially the remains of a star's ultra-dense core, which has a mass of over 2 octillion tons.
And he took one of those to the noggin and just took a nap.
And Popeye's body is essentially made of, well, rubber, able to stretch, twist, squish, and squash any way he likes.
Or rev up his arm for a punch that'll knock you around the planet.
Popeye's punches are fascinating, since they can disincorporate their targets into composite elements, like turning anchors into fishhooks, an alligator into handbags, and several Native Americans. You know, I don't even want to.
He's a cartoon. He can basically do whatever he wants. He can shoot fire from his corncob pipe, pull a canyon closed, punch bolts of lightning out of the air, and even give the sun a black eye.
Judging by the distance the sun is from the Earth, as well as the time it took for the high striker puck to reach it, the puck must have been moving at 500 times the speed of light. In order to generate that force, Popeye must have swung his fist just as fast. Hell, he's even shadowboxed so fast, he's somehow occupied 2 places at once and hit himself. The secret to Popeye's immense physical strength is simply the virtue of nutrition. Specifically, Popeye has spent his life consuming a miracle herb that has turned him from a mere sailor into a veritable god. Spinach. When used in Popeye's world, its effects are multiplied. Not only does it immediately increase Popeye's already impressive strength and speed even further, it makes him virtually impervious to harm.
It lets him fly, turn invisible, shapeshift his body into literally anything, and even survive the universe getting turned off. That's right, this big whatever the hell that thing is apparently God, and he turned off reality in order to kill Popeye and his friends. What? Popeye was fine. Why? Because he eats his spinach.
A single can of spinach in Popeye's world was once able to grow a beanstalk so tall it reached into outer space, all the way to a nearby solar system, and shattered this stylized yellow star. By measuring the volume of this spinach stalk and including the caloric density of regular spinach, we can calculate one single can of Popeye's spinach contains over 46 undecillion calories.
That's over 46 million Yoda tons of TNT, enough to destroy, well, a star, or enough to punch your annoying neighbor so hard that when they land, they tilt the Earth.
By measuring the angle of the planet after tilting, we can determine its axis was adjusted by about 13 degrees in less than a second. That's a speed of about 1.8 million meters per second.
Is that enough to power a rocket ship so fast it travels backwards in time? Yeah, 'cause that happened.
Popeye doesn't consume some special magical spinach. Any kind will do, even if it's handed to him by the audience in the real world watching his cartoon.
He can summon cans to his side by whistling for them, praying to gods, painting them into reality, or just waving his hand. The dude has literally been disintegrated into nothingness, then his nothingness grabbed a spinach can out of nowhere and ate it. Nothing ate it. His nothing. And then he came back with his I don't know.
He can even punch so hard he tears the film strip he's being animated on, or exit his cartoon to beat the shit out of his own animator.
So Popeye's basically fought two different versions of God and whooped their asses.